Rhythm Changes is partnered with the Inlet Music Series in my local Port Moody, and we've been interviewing one artist from every monthly show in the season. And the next one, which is very seasonal, is on December 20th, and it features our guest today. It is a Soulful Christmas with Don Pemberton and Marcus Mosely. So please welcome Don Pemberton to the show.
Hi, Will. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to get to chat with you.
Yeah, it's lovely that you were able to join me and take the time. I really appreciate it. I think about this time as like a prime time for you going all the way through to New Year's Eve. How does it rank? You probably do a ton in the summer too, but is this the busiest time of your year?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I'm a teacher, and so school, exams are ramping up, and then also with my choir, holidays are just a busy musical time. People need music, like music, and enjoy music during the holidays. And then you sprinkle gigs on top of that. Yeah, it's a busy time.
Yeah, there's a lot of gigs that I'm excited to ask you a little bit about, but because you mentioned your choir, I wanted to go there. I think this is called the Roots and Wings Choir. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Roots and Wings is about a 45 voiced treble ensemble, and we are now in our 12th year as a choir. I started it 12 years ago, and I wanted to create a women's choir that was sort of a little different than the usual landscape of a women's choir, a traditional women's choir.
It must be a big part of what you do, because I'm thinking back to the first time that I heard you sing or that I would have encountered you. And I'm pretty sure it was at my local New Westminster Secondary School music program. I think Kelly Prosnick, one of the music teachers there, would have brought you in to work with our vocal jazz ensembles, I guess. This would have been maybe 2010 or 2011 or something. Yeah. I think that would have been the first time that I heard you.
Yeah, definitely. Kelly Prosnick is a dear friend and colleague, and we'd often, bring each other in to work with our choirs and our groups and just learn from each other. And it's always a great thing to learn from your friends and colleagues and to watch them work. So I do remember that. And that was a great year, a great cohort. I remember the group just being like super motivated and really, when I look at you all now, it's like, and see what you're all doing, it's like you all are, still music professionals in some way, and that's inspiring.
Thanks. I remember it took some convincing. I had just kind of started playing bass in the last year or two at the school, but Kelly really had to sell me on adding 2 more early mornings to make it 5 out of 5 to come do vocal jazz.
Yes, I know. I'm also a choir kid, and so my choir was off the timetable as well. So yeah, like 7 a.m., you're like, okay, here I am at school. But when I think back to it now, I'm like, man, that was some like just amazing times. Like how else I long for, getting up in the morning and like doing some music with people. That would be incredible.
I'm realizing right now that I don't know for sure where that was for you. Were you local to Vancouver growing up or somewhere else, or you were here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I grew up in East Van. Born and raised.
Nice. So that's you have deep roots that you've continued to explore. Like I imagine you probably have a couple of people who go back all the way with you pretty much.
Yes. Yeah. I think that is like a huge privilege to have people who know you really well. And I have friends from my neighborhood that to this day we still see each other, and it's really cool. I always know, like, where people know you from by what they call you. It's like, people call me this. It's like, oh, okay, I met them this time in my life. And a lot of my old friends, they call me Donnie. So I'm like, I know where you're from.
It's so cool. That's something I aspire to. Yeah, because I've been local the whole time, and I hope to continue enjoying that over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blessing, and it's kind of cool. Uh, it's pretty neat.
All right, let's talk some shows. I'll start with some recent ones. This was a very recent one. It was only earlier this week that we're talking, or I guess a couple of weeks ago once it ends up airing. But you played at the Blue Shore in North Van with John Boutte, Queer as Funk, and also on the bill the Terminal City Brass Band. You had a vocal feature with the John Boutte and Queer as Funk set. Is that right? How did that go?
Yeah, yeah. I also did a tune with the Terminal City Brass Band. It was a great, like, it just felt like a big celebration. The show was really fun, and we're, basically doing delicious soul music, like, tunes from the soul music catalog. And then the Terminal City Brass Band also did some, a few soul tunes plus some brass band classics based like that in the New Orleans style. So it was really fun. And I don't know what the audience was expecting, but they definitely left feeling like super joyful. And yeah, it just was like people were dancing. It just felt so good, and a well needed sort of injection of light and joy.
That sounds like what I have heard you do, which is the Mary Ancheta, Betty Davis project. You played it at the Fox this fall, not too long ago. Before that, you played it at the VIF Center with a film that I'm trying to recall. Was it a film that was specifically about Betty Davis's life? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
And then a year ago now was the first time I heard it. I think that was the first show you all right. Somehow fit on stage at Heroes Welcome, and it was a great show.
That's right. Yeah, that was a really fun project, and it's been fun to revisit it over the last, year or so. I can't believe it's only been a year. But we've gotten to do it a few times in other places, and each time learning a few other tunes, and I don't know, it's really interesting. Like, yeah, it's just really, she's a really interesting character, really formidable person. And then to watch the documentary, play her music and sort of get deep into the music, and then watch the documentary, it really, for me, just showcased like what a creative genius she was, because she was definitely ahead of her time.
I got to hear you share the vocal front line. I'm thinking of the Heroes show in particular, but in general across this project with other outstanding singers such as Leo D.E. Johnson, Crystal Dos Santos, and even Mary herself sang from the keys on this project. So what's that like being up there among these other personalities? Talk about that.
Oh, it's so fun. Like, I think, sometimes being a singer, a frontline singer, when you're on your own, it can feel like a lot of work to sort of, you're the host of the gig, I guess. So that's the way I like to think about it. You are making sure like the audience is having a good time. You're connecting with the music. You're connecting with the band. Perhaps you're directing some musical traffic. And sometimes all those jobs can feel like a lot. So it's really, really fun when you get to share the hostess job with other people, because you kind of get to play off their energy. You get to watch them do their thing, which is always really exciting and inspiring. And I mean, I don't know, but like Crystal and Leo are just hilarious, and we all have a fun time together.
Yeah, it was just so interesting for me to hear the musical results and how they suited what in my mind I could have already said was like the perfect match for each of you. Like, I just think especially because I was the least familiar with them, with Leo, like just the raw power of the performance there, and then how that's different from like the spaces that you and Crystal crossed, obviously you have that in you as well, but just the inclinations that each of you had and how it all came together and produced this big variety of, and the Betty Davis book being such a good canvas for that. It was so fun. That's a project I'll really remember out of this year.
Wow, that's very cool. I love your perceptions of it. Like, yeah, it's, I feel like that it really just speaks to Betty Davis and just her style and her catalog of music. It's quite vast, and she's quite a character. Like, even just with actually how she sings, there's a lot of like character and like ow and growls and stuff. And it's fun to live in that space as a singer. And I feel like we each found things about Betty that were like, oh yeah, I can see myself in Betty, or I see Betty in me. And that was a really fun thing to explore.
Yeah. I want to take it a little bit further back, what is now over a year and a half, incredibly, to a different project where you appeared as one of many vocalists. And this was another outstanding show that I had the pleasure to go to, which is at the McGee Secondary School Theater. You were part of the Ostara Project, and you are on, if I'm not mistaken, one of their forthcoming studio projects that you would have also recorded around that time. You were one, along with Laila Bialy and Shruti Ramani and others, of featured vocalists at this show. And I really enjoyed that show. I'm pretty sure at the show you sang only one song, but that the theme of the show involved everybody who contributed an original, contributing one that was relevant to your own family or history, ancestry, literally, in a lot of cases. So can you take us back to that show and talk about what you did there?
Yeah, that was such a fun show, and such an incredible process to be a part of. Just working with all those people was really cool, especially working with Jody Prosnick and Amanda Tossoff. Like, their leadership and their vision, it was really neat to see how they brought us all together. And I really appreciated having a bit of a nugget to work with. And at first I was like, oh no, I gotta write a song. Like, but it was a really fun challenge. And for months, I had this idea percolating, along, and Jody would be like, hey, how's your song coming? And I'm like, yeah, it's coming, but nothing was quite coming through yet. And then, as the date for recording got sooner, I was like, okay, I got to get these ideas onto paper. And that process was so fun. So I ended up writing about my mom and her sort of the inspiration, the moment of inspiration that made her decide to come to Canada as a young woman. She grew up in Barbados, and I feel like that moment is such a big moment in our family's story, because none of what is here now would be here if she didn't have this chance encounter with a woman at a well, and who told her about this program. And so the song I wrote is called Cane Top, which is my mom's nicknames, or one of her nicknames. People who are from the Caribbean have a lot of nicknames. There's a nickname for everything. One day you wear a red hat, and then that's it. You're a red hat for the rest of your life, So, so the song is called Cane Top, and it just sort of speaks to my mom, like, sort of listening to the whispers of like a different life, and taking risks and things like that.
Yeah, I look forward to when that comes out. I do not know when, but we shall know at some point in the near future, I guess.
Soon. Yeah, it's soon. So that project has 2 albums, and the first album is called Roots, and that's mostly an instrumental, or all instrumental. And then the second album is Wings, and is the features the vocalists on it. And so it's out, I think, maybe this spring. I feel like it might be safe to say that.
Nice. There's one more feature. There's one more big role you played on a big show. And this was a show that I thought about a lot over the last couple of months, because I was kind of involved in working both sides of it, because I have worked for Cellar and Infidels this year. And so we did this big show on November 2nd at the Rickshaw, and you joined the electrifying Seamus Blake with Sam Yahel, Corey Fonville, and Tim Lefebvre, and it was unreal at the show what you brought to it. And then you went into the studio with them. So I would love to hear your journey with this project at the beginning of November.
That was, like, I'd have to say a bucket list moment. One, it's always nice to be asked to do things. And so when Seamus reached out, I was like, huh, what? You know that I'm alive? Like, what? And he was like, hey, yeah, we're doing a show and we're doing a recording. And he's like, I asked people like who would be really cool to work with or who would be cool to do this. And he's like, they both replied you. And I was like, oh, wow, that's such, an honor and high praise. And so, yeah, it was really cool just to, he sent me the demos of the tunes, and I really appreciated, like, it was a kind of a neat peek into Seamus's brain, and I liked how he created his arrangements and how he wrote, and just to sort of have a sneak into that process was neat. Yeah, and it sounded great already with like just sort of like the demo things that he put together, and so no rehearsal, like he was like, okay, well, come on down to the gig and we'll try these tunes. And, I was like, okay. And, it was really fun. And did things go perfectly? No, they did not. But music was still made, and it was great to collaborate with them. And just to like sit, I felt like I was in this like cooking, like steaming pot of like whatever broth, and just to watch them like work as a unit and to kind of like get connected, and like just to sort of sit and observe that and be in that in the moment was really something. And I kind of was like, ooh, I want to have more of that. I want to, like, what is that? Is it focus? Like, is it, they're just so locked in, and it was really inspiring. And so then 2 days later, we went into the studio and recorded the songs, and we did 3 songs together, and kind of live off the floor. And so I was in a little booth, and it was great to also see that process, and at just how they worked through the arrangements, how, and some of the stuff was really hard, and like they don't really play together all that much. Like, I think this might have been the first time that they've actually worked together, all together, maybe in that way. So it was so inspiring. I'm still inspired from that. And I learned many lessons, and yeah, it was such an honor.
It was a delight. So you're saying that what I heard in the house at the Rickshaw when you got up there, that was the first time. There was no other than maybe a sound check. That was it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, so cool that the studio experience gets worked on the other side of that. Like, you get to do the show first and then go to the studio for everybody. It seems like that was a good setup.
Yeah, I think so. It's really interesting. I think the more and more I record, and the more and more, I do music, I feel like sometimes, I've done things where I've like recorded and then recorded songs that I haven't played very much, and then like you record them and then you play them, and they kind of like morph and change and grow, and it's like, oh, I wish we recorded them now, so it's great when you get to just like try things and play through things and sort of catch their spirit or their essence, get to know like what is this, what's the possibilities within the song. And I always think that that's really exciting. But then there's moments where, you put down like a little chart or a little sketch, and you're like, here we go. And I also enjoy like just seeing what happens, and capturing that moment too. So I don't know. I'm stuck. What do I do? Just do it all.
I'd love to then go to talking about your work as a band leader too, and I'll bring you back to your Jazz Fest set in particular with one thing, because I know this summer you played with your band at the Vancouver Jazz Festival, the Harmony Arts Festival, other places around BC. And I did, as one of my Jazz Fest things at Rhythm Changes, I did a piece called Jazz Fest in 10 Songs. And I was looking for not even jazz standards and not original materials, but I was looking for songs that artists chose to cover or include in their set and what that might have meant or signified. And from your set, I chose because Sly Stone had recently passed away, and you played Que Sera Sera, whatever will be in your set at the Jazz Fest. But that could just be a jumping off point to talk about like over the summer and like your band leading experience and shows that you've been doing with your band lately.
Yeah. Yeah, that was such a, I love Sly Stone, and again, like he is another musical genius who really was ahead of his time, and was just dogged in his quest for music. He was so curious, and I really appreciated his curiosity. Yeah, I just felt like it was really important to honor him and remember him. And that version of Que Sera Sera, I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, what? Like, it just hurt so good, it hit so good. And so I've always been drawn to it. And yeah, it was really fun to I've played it with my band before, but perhaps not this version. And I was like, hey, we should do this. And I think they all really enjoyed playing it. It's one of those songs that you could just play for forever. Yeah, I love being a band leader. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes, as like, it's not just booking the gig, it's planning the repertoire, it's learning the repertoire, it's perhaps writing charts, it's being able to communicate your vision for the execution of the music, it's being a gracious leader. How do you make your vision happen without destroying people and, being unkind? It's definitely directing traffic in the moment. And I am that kind of person that I like to leave some room for, spirit. And like, if we need to do a section again, like, well, let's do it again. Or, sure, we practice this ending, but sometimes we just got to follow this little, little fairies that are telling us to do something else. So, yeah, I feel like sometimes as a woman, it can be really tricky being a band leader and being a singer. Being a band leader, sometimes people feel like they can just steamroll you and fill up the space, or that what you have to say or offer is not, good enough or whatever. And thankfully, like I don't play with people like that. So yeah, I love it. I love being a band leader. It's really fun, and it's challenging in a cool way.
Yeah, you have such a wonderful band too. Gavin Youngash on guitar, Andre Lachance on bass, Mike Ardahl on drums, Max Sapersky on keys. That's your band, right?
Yeah. And sometimes Mary Ancheta joins us on secondary keys, like, organs. And it's just like, and, on a good day, if the budget was very big, I would add horns too, and background singers and percussion. But yeah, those five guys are, are kind of like the core of the band.
Do you have a new recording project as a leader in the works?
I do. Yeah. It's called Supernova. Hopefully it will be released in late spring of 2026. And yeah, it's just like a little appetizer. I have a lot of recording projects coming up. So I'm just trying to create as much music as possible, and hopefully I can keep up with the with all the demands, but I'm pretty excited about it all.
Nice. Okay, let's bring it home and let's look forward to this particular of one of your many holiday shows, but this one at the Inlet Theater here down the hill. Like, talk about what you and Marcus are going to get up to and who's going to be there with you, etc. What am I going to be enjoying down there?
Well, you're going to be enjoying just some like heartwarming Christmas classics, music by Otis Redding, as well as, Harry Connick Jr., beautiful soulful music, a few like gospel inspired arrangements. But really we want it to just feel good, feel warm, feel joyful, hopeful, full of love. And an experience that is, just like refills the spirit. And I know sometimes this time of year can be really challenging for people, even though it's supposed to be like the most joyful time of year. It's like, no, it's hard. It can be hard. And so we just want to add some light. And, Marcus is such a light-filled individual, and so doing anything with him is really fun. And Bill Sample is the musical director and is helping us to pull it all together. And he's really funny too. He's got a great sense of humor and a great sense of musical humor. So there'll be some funny moments, and the music will be excellent though.
All those warm and joyful feelings, those are all feelings that I receive from you in any season where I hear you perform, not just the holiday season.
Well, that's so nice of you to say. Thank you. I feel like, that's my goal in life, is just to bring some warmth. I try. I don't know. I'm not always successful, but I try.
Absolutely. Well, we're all thankful for that. So thank you for taking the time to chat with me today, and I hope you have a great run of good times and music making through this next month or so, Dawn.
Oh, thank you so much, Will. And I really just appreciate all that you do for our musical community. And it's really, really amazing. I love what you got going on. It's great. Thank you for having me.